Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special one-time only event. It's the special feature episode of Guess the Suspension featuring Shrammy.
Hey, what's up?
So, Shrammy, you will be today's, and most likely the only ever contestant. How do you feel about the challenge? How well do you rate your knowledge of suspensions?
I feel like I don't really know many suspensions. I know genuinely how long players are suspended for,
Well,
but I feel like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get many of these right.
Okay, sounds like you're perfectly suited for this. Now, I won't lie, it won't help you at all now. It will be pretty tough, but I will also be offering you some help along the way. For each suspension that you have to guess, I will give you one of three things. Either the name of the player, the length of the suspension, or the reason the person was suspended. Now, sometimes I could give you two of the three, and of course, whichever one of those things I don't tell you, it's your job to guess. So for example, if I tell you someone got suspended for 4 games for tampering with balls in the changing rooms before a game, you have to tell me who that player was. Now of course, they won't all be that easy. To help you out, however, I will also give you at least one hint for each question. But I'll warn you now, some of these hints will also be red herrings. And I also won't be telling you what year these offences occurred in, because basically it would make it too easy and ruin all of my red herring hints. So, if you're feeling ready, let's begin. Guess the suspension. Okay, let's start easy. Your first hint is that I think you should get this one. This player picked up an 8-game suspension and potentially a much longer jail sentence, which he is yet to receive as his court date has been pushed back many times. I can't tell you exactly what he did as it gives away, but can you tell me who it is?
I'm going to go with Myles Garrett, just since you said jail sentence. It sounds like you're talking about when he tried to kill Mason Rudolph.
No, this is... This is an actual jail sentence he is facing. 8-game suspension. You should be able to get this one, so it's you specifically. There's a hint in itself.
Specifically? Why am I blanking on this one?
Okay, I'll give you a good hint here, and probably a too strong a hint. He's an inside linebacker.
Okay, yep. Is it Michael Kendricks?
Yes, it is.
That's okay.
Michael Kendricks, of course, former Eagle, who got an 8-game suspension for insider trading and is yet to be sentenced for that crime.
Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that for some when you when you said that I should get this, I thought Eagles players, and he just never came in my mind for some reason.
So that's unfortunately, well, you did get it on a second guess. I'll give you 32 points for that. The points don't matter, but you've got some.
32. Let's go.
So, the next one. The event that led to this 1-game suspension involves a Cincinnati Bengals player. Could be former Bengal, might not be. I won't say any more. Can you tell me which player was suspended not just for his action, but also his reaction after the initial event? And this happened in the past couple of years.
All right, so when I first think of Bengals players suspended, right? Vontez Burfict, right off the board, but it's probably not him. I feel like 1 game isn't enough for him, not to get him satisfied. I don't know. Take a shot in the dark. I'm going to say Pac-Man Jones.
That is not the player. You have been caught on one of my first red herrings. As I said, it involves a Cincinnati Bengals player. However, it was not a Bengals player that was suspended. So, it was, he did something, and then did something after doing that thing as well, and that is what got him a 1-game suspension.
Was it Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yes, it is. Yes, for his blindside block and taunting afterwards on Vontez Burfict. Not bad. We'll give you
Gotcha. Okay. All
36 points for that one. More than the 32 from before. Let's see how those points add up at the end. It really won't matter, and I'll forget how many I gave you. Now, I think this one's going to be a little bit trickier. There's no red herrings here, so this is legitimately what happened. This Texans player at the time, was looking down the barrel of a 10-game suspension for eating beef.
For eating beef? Okay.
For eating beef. True story. You'll get full points for either telling me which player it was or giving us all more context on the situation on how somebody gets suspended for eating beef.
I feel like this is wild enough to the point where I should have heard about it, but this isn't ringing any bells. And hold on. Let me think for a second.
A few years ago it happened.
Eating beef.
Okay, how about I'll help you out. It's that a 10-game suspension is the length of time that you would be suspended for performance-enhancing drugs.
Suspended for PEDs. Maybe. On the Texans a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like the pressure's getting to me.
It's okay. I think this one is a difficult one. Shall I tell you who it was, what happened?
What does beef have to do with this?
Right. It is the time that Dwayne Brown was facing a 10-game PED suspension because he tested positive for steroids after eating beef in Mexico over the bye week. He was able to prove that the positive result came from the beef he ate and didn't end up serving the suspension.
So I feel like the moral of the story for that one is anytime you want to do steroids, just eat a lot of Mexican beef,
Exactly.
and maybe you can write it off.
I think the moral of the story is don't eat Mexican beef because it's filled with steroids, but take from it what you will.
I'm gonna take it from the illegal standpoint here.
Now, this one goes back to your first guess. Defensive linemen have been in the news recently, but can you tell me which second-year player received a 2-game suspension for an offense that occurred after the play? Now, I know it's close to impossible, but don't worry, here comes your hint, which I think will help you a lot. This player received that suspension because this was his 5th on-field incident.
Second-year player, okay. Defensive lineman, you said?
Defensive lineman, correct.
The hint again had to do with did it have to do with the Browns situation? What'd you say?
That was just the fact that he was a defensive lineman, because they've been in the news recently for their extracurricular activities.
Okay.
This player is a fan of extracurricular activity.
All right, hold on. I'm just going through a couple people. I feel like I should just say a name for this one and just maybe it'll be right. Just think of a second-year defensive lineman.
So this happened a few years ago. He was a second-year player at the time of receiving this suspension.
At the time. Based on the so he's not currently a second-year player, I'm guessing, right?
No.
So he was a second-year player at the time. I feel like Ndamukong Suh could have gotten suspended a second year.
Correct. It was Ndamukong Suh who was suspended after stomping on Packers lineman Evan Dietrich Smith. Suspended 2 games, and it was the 5th fine he'd received for on-field violence in less than 2 seasons.
I got the hang of this now. I got to pay attention to the hints.
Yeah, those. I think those will be the ones that help you because I'm not giving you a lot of information outside of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
With years and things, I think you could do it easier, but that's why I don't tell you them. But let's see if you can get this one. Can you name the player that picked up 3 substance abuse suspensions to start his career, leading to 30 missed games in only 3 seasons? Now, that stat was your one and only hint. Now, think about it, but don't give your answer straight away.
Well, I have a player in mind.
I'm going to help you on this one because here's the big thing with this one. You get only one guess, and if you guess wrong, I will subtract 500 points. I forgot to give you points after the first 2 ones, so I don't know how many you have now, but I'll subtract 500 of them.
Okay, hold on.
So, I will help you narrow this down. Did the player you're thinking of play college football in the Big 12?
Hold on a second. I don't know college football, so I'm going to look up if this college is in the Big 12.
You're allowed to do that. It's no problem. I also had to look online to double check.
Yeah, okay, it is. Yes.
Okay, you might be right. Did he formerly play for a team that has been to but lost a Super Bowl in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Did he come into the NFL in 2012?
Can I double check that or no?
You can double check that. Why not?
Yes. Okay. I'm pretty sure yes. Yes. Correct.
Right. I'm sure that the player you are thinking of and the correct guess to this is, of course,
Josh Gordon.
No, it's Carolina Panthers defensive end Frank Alexander.
I had an idea that it was going to lead to be Josh Gordon, right? And it was going to be some other random person you never heard of.
He played for Oklahoma and played for the Panthers when they lost in Super Bowl 50 and was, I think, a 4th-round pick. But, however, you will get to see him play for the Dallas Renegades in the XFL in 2020.
Right. I'm looking forward to that one. I kind of figured it was too simple, but I didn't know anybody else who fit that criteria. So
it was lucky that he also ended up matching a lot of different things with him, not just the regular substance abuse suspensions.
Yeah.
But now, of course, some suspensions are more famous than others. Can you tell me which ex-Falcons player was suspended for what was officially called conduct detrimental to the league, but should have probably been called conduct detrimental to dog?
I mean, right? Former Falcons player.
Yep.
Is he a current analyst?
Maybe that gives away too much.
Or is he still in the league? Michael Vick?
He is not in the league anymore. It is not Michael Vick.
My first thought. These are tricky questions, man. Who else messed with a dog?
Exactly. It was Prince Shembo who was suspended for only 2 games after killing his girlfriend's dog.
Jesus, man. Never heard about that one before.
Exactly. Well, that 2-game suspension didn't end up being served as he has been out of the league ever since being released by the Falcons after the case.
Oh, man.
Okay, so this is a good one. Everyone is now familiar with Vontaze Burfict's record-setting suspension for an on-field incident, but the record was previously held. Oh, you know what? I'll give you 20 points if you can tell me who it was previously held by.
I feel like I should know this.
If you can, it's fine.
I don't think so. All right, keep going. I don't think I know it.
Okay, it was previously held by Albert Hainsworth. who got a 5-game suspension.
He crossed my mind. I should have just said it. He was up there. I swear he was.
It was 20 points he missed out on.
Man.
But can you tell me what he got this 5-game suspension for doing?
Robert Hainsworth, what did he do? I feel like I remember him like kicking someone or something.
You know what?
I feel like it was similar to Ndamukong Suh, how he like snapped on someone, but could be
Yes,
different.
very close. I'll let you keep working towards it.
Okay, all right.
It's definitely kicking related. I'll give you 52 points if you can guess what kind of kicking he did.
Numbers. Arbitrary point numbers are really what I'm coming after.
Well, you lost 500 earlier, so you need to make it. You
That's
know
true.
what?
I don't really think there's any recouping from that, man.
All right, I'll give you 422 for this if you get it.
Oh, man. All right, he kicked something. What did he kick? Or did he just like kick a player when he was on the ground?
Okay, I'll keep letting you guess for the points. That is, it was a kick. It was a player who was on the ground. What part of the player?
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
We only get one guess on the part.
I'm gonna go with he went to kick him in the head.
Correct. You get was it 422 points? I think it was. You get 422 points for a correct guess. Albert Hainsworth was suspended for 5 games, a record that stood for many, many years for stomping on another player's head. But with Myles Garrett's suspension, Hainsworth's act isn't even in second place anymore. I think it's time for someone to come out of retirement. We're getting close towards the end. Let's see if you can get this one. This one potentially is one that's doable. Aqib Talib has been suspended for 1 game on 3 separate occasions. Now, I want you to name the cause of the one suspension that caught the eye more than the others did. Now, alternatively, if you can name the other 2 instances, I will accept that as well.
Okay, so the one I'm thinking of, I don't remember exactly if he got suspended for this, but it seems like it probably warrants a suspension. Does it have to do with Michael Crabtree?
That is one of the other instances. Yes, and he was suspended.
Oh, it is?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so he ripped off the chain. I remember that one. Could you tell me what team he was on? Like, was it the Buccaneers or the Patriots, or is that not?
I believe...
Can you not tell me that?
I can tell you that I believe he was on the Broncos at the time. Like I said, this one really caught the eye.
Did he, like, spit in someone's face mask or something?
He may have done, but he wasn't suspended for that if he did.
Or is that someone else? What do I remember? Okay, maybe that wasn't it then. He, like, poked someone in the eye?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. He poked Dwayne Allen in the eye, getting a 1-game suspension. It was Dwayne Allen and Von Miller had got into it. He basically just walked up to him and fingers in the eye.
I like vaguely remember that now that you said it.
Now, the other occasion that he was suspended for 1 game for was, I believe this is whilst he was on the Buccaneers, where he was arrested for battery of a taxi driver. Okay, now this is the final one.
I wonder if he uses Uber.
Well, funny that you say that. This is the final one. I'll give you enough points to however many points you need to be not in negative points. If you still are, I'll give you that many points. So, this player was suspended for 3 games, and after coming back to his role as a starter, was benched again shortly afterwards. Now, for what he did, I can't tell you exactly, but I'll just say he probably has to use the Lyft app nowadays. No more Ubers.
All right, let me think about this one. You said he was suspended for 3 games, right?
3 games.
And you didn't even start anymore.
He came back, played a couple of games, was benched. A wild guess. I'll tell you what. I'll help you by giving you hints that aren't hints. Many things that give you hints about who this player plays for were recently said. So to narrow it down, one of Aqib Talib's previous teams. I'm not saying if they were on the team at the same time.
Okay. Aqib Talib, right, played for the Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Patriots.
Rams and Dolphins. Yeah.
He's on the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Rams and Dolphins. Okay.
It doesn't have a very high passenger rate.
Passenger rating. All right. I don't think this is getting anywhere. I can't think of anyone who had any, like, Uber complications.
Then I tell you what, they did a good job of.
Why can't I remember that?
Covering it up. It happened very recently. You want me to spoil it for you?
Wait, one more hint. What team? What team does he play for? Maybe that'll help.
I think that helps too much.
Helps too much? Okay.
So instead, okay, I'll put it this way. This might help you. This player and Josh Rosen have a lot in common.
A lot in common. Okay. I think you're gonna have to just tell me, and I'm gonna feel like an idiot that I don't know this.
Potentially you will. The player in question was, of course, Jameis Winston, who assaulted a female Uber driver and was suspended for 3 games.
I should just say the names. Like, Jameis Winston was the first person I thought of. I couldn't even really specifically remember the incident, but I should have just said it. Man, okay.
Unfortunately...
See, it's the pressure of the spotlight.
Unfortunately, because you did not get that right, I cannot tell you how many points you have. If you would have got it right, I would have told you had 1. So, now, before we leave, is there any kind of plug you would like to make for what's currently going on your channel, telling people why they should go over, take a look, and subscribe?
Biggest plug of all time, right? 2 franchises. Got a Cincinnati Bengals franchise. Got an Armadillos franchise. Who do you see using the Armadillos?
Yes.
Bet most of you don't even know the Armadillos can be a team in Madden, right? Sweet uniforms. Might have the best uniforms of any relocation team, to be honest. If you guys are interested in either of those, I'd definitely appreciate you guys coming over.
Fantastic. So if you want to see what a future without Andrew Luck looks like in a different city, the Armadillo franchise is the one for you, correct?
Yeah, it's very correct. My universes are no flaws in any of them. They're all intertwined. They're all connected somehow,
And with that, a final thank you to Shrammy for being the first contestant on this one-time only quiz show. You can expect probably some more stuff like this from us. And please go over and check out his channel if you are into Madden videos. And if not, go over and he may just win you over. More stuff coming on my channel too. A little bit of Madden, a little bit of NFL. So, don't be scared to subscribe to me either.